Hello everyone, I am Father of Time, and this is a quick update for the Riftcraft plugin on the MC Apocalypse server. As some of you may know, recently one of our players brought it to our attention right here, Akura, that there was a problem with our portals, and he actually was kind enough to include a picture, and what it was is that there was a bug inside Bucket that was making them not work properly. Well, I decided to do a little further investigation, and lo and behold, I found a way to kind of work around our problem. And so what I'll go ahead and do is just get right to it and show you how they work. So I'm going to go ahead, and the first thing I need to do is I need to choose a spot. So let's just choose this one right here. And I don't have to put anything there per se. I'm just marking out where it is so we can see it. If I do Riftcraft, mark, and let's give it a name. So I'll just call it um, spot. And as you can see, particles come out, and it tells me that I've now inscribed it. And you can confirm that by doing book. And so there it is, spot. So now if I come over to this destination, it doesn't matter where, but just say over here, and I do Riftcraft, portal, spot, I'll do the same thing. I begin casting, and pop! I've created a portal between the two spots. Now you'll notice there's one at my start point and there's one at the destination. If I go back through the destination one, I'm now back at my start point, and vice versa. Now, as some of you may recall, there was a weird bug to where if you weren't centered on these or you weren't quite like fully on the block, it would teleport you to the nether. I'm pretty sure that I've resolved that issue. I mean, I say that loosely because it's always been, a thorn in our side, but you'll notice if I get right up just barely on that thing, it still seems to take me to the proper destination. Also, I brought all these out here because I wanted to show you the flexibility. I decided if I was going to do this, I was going to go the full 9 yards and really make sure I got everything right. So some of the issues that existed in the past one is all of these type of items would block your portals, either coming in from the destination or just marking the spots. They do not do that any longer. You can actually portal in on these spots now, and I'll go ahead and show you that in a second. Same goes for these blocks. One of the issues used to be is that soul sand isn't the perfect height, or the full block height. It's actually a little shorter. So when you would mark on it, you drop down through it. So I've actually made it to where if you're on soul sand, it'll mark accordingly, and I'll go ahead and show that in a second. And the final thing I've done is snow. I've made it so that what happens is when the portal comes in, the heat from it melts it down, so it'll be at the bottom block, but then when the portal evaporates, the snow will reform around it, so it'll go right back to whatever level it was. And again, we'll demonstrate that. So the first thing that we'll go ahead and do is just pick one of these arbitrarily, and let's just pick this orange flower. That looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of our spot, remove spot, and we're going to go ahead and create a new one standing right on top of this guy. Riftcraft, mark, spot. Little portals, and bam, it's done. So now that spot has a location that we can portal to. So if I go Riftcraft, portal, spot, you'll now notice, yeah, that's an odd thing. That one is new one to me. I'm going to have to look into what's causing that, but it doesn't change any of the functionality. It behaves properly. But you notice that the orange flower is now gone, and it'll go right on top of it. It doesn't mind that it was there. And again, I can go back through to the other side. Everything's hunky-dory. If I go off to one edge barely, I still go to my proper destination. So all so far, so good. And now what we're going to do actually is watch and wait for this to dissipate, because you'll notice when it does, I've also programmed it to where it records what was there before. So even though it'll go, teleport over these things, it won't delete them. So like someone does it in their garden, in their dominion or something, they don't have to worry about doing landscape damage. So that is true for all of these plants. And I'll go ahead and do it on a double tall one so you can see that I've got it working properly on the top too. So remove spot. And then we're going to go Riftcraft, mark spot. Alright. Hello, sheep! Just watching see what we're doing. Whoop! Back through it on accident. So, yeah, I will figure out what's causing that spiral aspect. I'm pretty sure I can just set it to always be facing the direction that you were when you or casted, but for now it's not a big deal. But notice now, same thing, I can go through either side. They work just fine. And what will ultimately happen when, no, sheep, don't do it. He would, by the way, he'll go to the nether. It's designed to do that way. That's something that a player requested for me to change, and I completely forgot. So we'll go ahead and add that in. So that's another thing I'm learning during this demo video. However, notice the top half gets put back as well, not just the bottom half. So far so good. Test finished. All of these I know as effect will work. Because they're all the same item type. The mushrooms will work. I'm not going to go ahead and go in and do the demonstration on each one just for time's sake. And then saplings will work as well. So we'll go ahead and pick one of these at random. And we'll go Riftcraft portal. Oops. Remove spot. And then Riftcraft mark spot. And then let's go to it. And so as before, it seems like it might do it whenever there was something in its way. And that's an odd... Ooh, spiderwebs! And it will also let you do it in spiderwebs too, so you could actually make a trap of like a whole bunch of spiderwebs, portal in the middle of it, and then when it dissipates, the person will be stuck in webs. So that's kind of a... I thought of that. I was like, oh, we should definitely include that. And I'll actually go ahead and show you that too, seeing as I have the time. Let me out of the web. Let me out of the web. So we didn't see it, but notice when the portal went away, now the sapling is back. And actually it rolls it back with the block state. So I believe it'll even have its growth duration and everything, but I can't be entirely sure of that. So those are successful again. So now we'll try portal spot. And one thing I should point out that I forgot to mention in the early part is notice I've changed the fuel from so there we go. Now notice the spider web. Actually, I'll jump back to that in a second. I'm sorry, I just jumped subjects there. But so it will remove the spider web. And then yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and stand here and wait for it to put it back and wobble screen. Come on. There we go. So now notice when it went away, all of a sudden, boom, I'm in a spider web and I have to get out of it. So that will be a fun mechanic, I believe, for some people to set up traps in the future. I didn't know you're over here. I think you're spying on me. Anyways, so the next one that we have is the snow here. So if we go ahead and remove our spot rune, which we did already, and then we mark right here. Ooh, probably helps if we have some ender pearls, huh? Pearl. Let's grab a few stacks. Bingo. Alrighty, so now if we portal to there. And there we have it. So as you can see, it will go ahead and burn down the snow. It kind of melts it because, well, it is a hot portal ripping through time and space. And just like the others, we can go back and forth through it. And then what we're going to do, though, is wait for this snow to, or this portal to go ahead and dissipate. And what will happen is it'll put the snow back. But just like these other things, it remembers exactly the state that it was in. So it will put it back at the right height. So that's another thing that is a nice little fix and an attention to detail that we've got down. And again, this is one of those things that I want anybody else who spots one of these that it does something odd to the landscape or just drops you through a block or something, try to let me know, and I'll do what I can to rectify the issue. But the final we have here is the soul sand, and to be honest, this was the catalyst of this whole fix. So many zombies below us. Let's do this. There we go. Shh, guys. Alright, so, Riftcraft, remove, spot. So, the souls... Oh, probably helps if I sit still and let them spell finish, huh? So yeah, as you guys just noticed, you can't move while you're casting spells. If you do, you will fizzle the spell. So the reason why the Soul Sand was the first one is anybody who's ever worked on the client side knows that Soul Sand blocks are actually only 15 tall, not 16. So when you would mark on top of them, it actually thought that you were inside this block and not on top of it like the rest. And what would happen therefore is the portal would delete this block and it would put you like right about here. So that is obviously not the desired behavior that we want. So what we'll do is go ahead and portal to that and you can see how it works. What it'll do now is it actually evaluates what's below it, and just like with all the other ones, depending on what it is, it takes the appropriate action and moves the portal either up or down. So as you can see, even though before it would move down one, it's actually now in the proper position on Soul Sand. So that's definitely an improvement from before. And again, if you go through it, even though it's, not exactly centered, it's a little bit shifted off, it still will portal you to where you belong and not to the nether. So that's nice. So we have a lot of different things that the portal is aware of now, and we'll try to replace and won't consider it a blockage when you're trying to portal those locations. So I feel that these are definitely ready to reintroduce and hopefully iron out any bugs that we find if we do find any. As I was stating before, as you may have noticed, I've changed all of the fuels from glowstone to ender pearls. I have several reasons for doing this. Ender pearls are a renewable resource. Glowstone isn't. As we found, we stripped our nether of all of our glowstone to use it as fuel. I don't want to create that situation again where we have to forcefully change the map just because we need a new fuel source. And also I want that glowstone to go to good use of decoration and things like that. So I chose to change it to ender pearl because one, pearls are for teleporting, which that's what this plugin's all about, so it makes sense. Two, it's renewable. People can make those ender pearl farms and generate as many as they need to teleport around. So it makes sense. The reason why we got rid of those ender pearl farms before was because people were selling them to the server and generating lots of money. And instead what we can do is make them not sellable to the server, but rather players have to sell them to each other. However, they'll still be able to make good fortunes off of that because if it's the main fuel source for our Riftcraft plugin, people are going to go through them amply. Not to mention they'll just enjoy having them all over because they're fun to use just for their basic functionality. Whee! Oh wait, now I can wee. Whee! Okay, there we go. But anyways, so yeah, that is the upgrade you guys are about to see. That's the portals being reintroduced. And from what I see, they are fairly stable. I'm sure we're gonna have to iron out a bug or two. This is a complete remake, rewrite from the ground up. And in fact, I couldn't even port over the old code if I wanted to because during the whole rewrite of Riftcraft in general from version 1 to 2, when I ported everything over, apparently I didn't port that over because it was so broken from the bucket issues, and then since then I deleted that old project not knowing that was the only source of the code, so I kind of had to rewrite it, but luckily it ended up with positive results. I think it's actually even better than it was before, so I hope you guys have enjoyed, and again, I'm Father Time, and this is for the Riftcraft plugin for the MC Apocalypse server. You can find the IP for that server below, so thank you for watching, have a great night.